In this video we're going to show you an advanced tour around Tally accounts and how you can use it to operate your business. Firstly, when you log into your Tally account you will see your financial overview. This is classed as the dashboard module on the left hand side of the screen. Once you're in here you will see a financial overview and you'll be able to see how much money is in all of your bank accounts, how much is owed to you, how much you owe, and also any outstanding invoices and purchases and your VAT liability for the current period. If you manage quotes in your business, you'll be able to see a quotation summary on the right hand side of the screen. You'll also see a P&L for the past 6 months, and also you can switch between your various bank accounts and see their balances in a graphical format. If you'd like to change what the display looks like, if you just go to display options in the top right hand side of the screen, you will be presented with various options for this screen. You will see in here you have the option to change the size of the text. You can choose whether or not you want to show a getting started guide. If you want to show your VAT liability or not. With regards to the graphs, you can see we have a P&L for the past 6 months, but we can change that to an income by source or a 12-month sales growth report in there as well. You can choose if you do quotes or not, so if I don't do quotes in my business I can just take that out, but if I do I can choose which quotes I want to see on there as well. I can also choose if I want to show VAT in those totals, and also any other information here can be added in. If you click update, that will update the main dashboard on the left hand side of the screen. You can also move these around depending on how you want this to be viewed when you log into the system. On the left hand side we have all of our modules. The first module is the customers module. If we click into customers we'll see that I don't have any customers listed yet. To create a new customer record, all you need to do is just click create a customer. In here I'm just going to type in customer 1 for now. We can see it's created a customer code for me, and all I need to do then is just click the create a customer button. Now you may have noticed there when I set the account up that if I go to options you can choose the source of where that client came from. By default it's set to other because we don't have any of those set up. If we go back to the customer screen now on the left hand side, we will see the customer we've set up is now listed customer 1 with done no value. You'll see the option at the top is sources, and if I just click into that we'll see that I can add in various sources of where the customers come from, and also you can put a price next to that as well and add that in. So every time you set up a new customer you can choose where they came from, and basically it will track your return on investment for various marketing spend. I was going to put in we did a marketing event and it cost me £1,000. Add that in as a source and you'll see they will all be listed. If we now go back to the customers module and create a new customer record and create customer 2, we can now go to the source here and say they came from that marketing event, and then click create customer, and any revenue tracked against them will be tracked in a report. Once we're in a customer record we can go to our contact details and we can continue to type their address details in here, their postcode, contact information, mobile, email, etc. All that information can be stored in here. If we go to the options tab we can put in a default purchase order number which will appear every time we generate an invoice for the client, and also if we want to enable credit control I can do that. So if I set their payment terms to let's say 28 days, then after that if it's unpaid in the system, Tally accounts will automatically chase that for you. If we deal with EC sales and we're dealing with our clients who are outside the UK, we can add in their VAT number and we can note whether they're registered in another EC state or outside the EC, and that will make sure everything's calculated correctly on your EC sales list. We can also choose their default sales codes and their invoice template, and also if you want to track discounts we can do that in here also. If you go to the other information tab you can set up customized fields within the system, so now I've got the ability to track birthdays, hobbies, and also I've got a priority customer listing in here. You can set up 20 additional fields and they can be customized to suit their business, so you can use basic CRM elements to know more about your customers, so when you're picking up the phone to them you know what to talk to them about. If you go to invoices and stats you'll be able to track all of your invoices and quotes in here. when you first and last invoice them, how much is overdue, and their average time to pay. We haven't created any transactions yet, which is why all this information is currently empty. You've also got the option at the top to generate statements that can be emailed and printed, download their purchase history, and we can create quotes and invoices directly from this screen. If we go to the customers module now on the left hand side, we can see that our 2 customers have been created and we've done no business with them as yet. Once we want to start generating transactions, we can do quotes and invoices for customers. If you want to do quotes, all you do is click on the quotes module on the left hand side of the screen. To generate a new quote, you can just click create a quote, and if you'd like to customize the default categories, just click categories in the top right hand side of the screen. Once you've clicked into here, you'll be able to customize them as said. So we've got a draft, sent, I have an open in here, I have a close, lost on price. To add a new one, just click add and then type the category in here. So I can just put closed, lost to competitor, and then you can change the color of the flag on here and then just hit save, and that will add that into the drop down list, so you can now choose that. If I just close that now, we can create a new quote. We'll see when we create a quote, we'll be able to choose from our existing 2 customers that we've set up in the system already. You can also create a new customer record as well. So I've got customer 1 and customer 2 listed in here. To add a new customer, you might be stood in front of somebody and you want to add a new customer record, just hit that little plus sign and then I can just add in customer 3 and then hit create, and that's now created a new customer record for me. We can see our quote number is quote number 1. You can put in a reference, the date, the category, so we can see that all of our categories have come through on here. I'm just going to put this an open quote, and then we can just add lines to that. Now I've got sales of goods where we can just free type the work that we're going to be doing, and then you can either put in a net rate value, so say it's £1,000, you can choose the VAT rate against that, or if it's not applicable, and in the total there you could just type in the gross total and it will calculate the VAT and the net for you. We can also set default codes, so I've got labour in here, so it's now pre-filling as weekly work, and I can still amend that if needs be. And then I could just put quantity, that was 2 weeks work, and it will come through at 2,400. And if we add another line in here, I've got a materials line as well, so we could put materials at £500. Okay, we can choose the way that's laid out, so we can move these around depending on how we want that to be laid out. And then if I hit save, that quote has now been saved in the system, and we've got the option to print it, email it, we can convert it to an invoice with one click. We can edit details as and when we need to, and we can also copy it. So if I want to copy that to a new quote, because I do a lot of similar work, I'm going to choose the same quote for customer 1, hit save, and now when we go to the quotes module on the left, we can see both of those quotes are now open and listed in the system. If the customer says, yeah, I want to go ahead with that, just click into the quote. If they want to make any amendments, you click edit and say, actually, I did that for £2,000 in the end. Hit save at the top, and that's now been amended. Now you just hit convert to an invoice, click OK, and we'll see it's now invoice number 1. That's been converted, and it's an invoice that's unpaid. If we go to the quotes module now, you'll see that that's been closed 1 because we've won that business. And if we go to invoices, we'll now see that that reference quote 1 has come through onto the invoice, and the status of the invoice is unpaid. If we go through to the customers now and click into customer 1, we'll see that quote is now listed, and also the invoice is listed in there as well. If we go through to the invoices module on the left hand side, we'll see it's a very similar way to create these. So to create a new invoice, you just click create at the top of the screen, choose the customer who it's for. You can see it's come through as invoice number 2. Our issue date and due date has been pulled through from our customer record. And then to add lines, you just do exactly the same as a quote. So we're going to go in here and add some labour. You notice I've got one in here for stock, so we can do stock control as well, and then you can choose your products from a list. The information will come through. I can say, right, that was 5 foot. It will calculate all the gross and the net values for me, and it will deduct those 5 quantity items from my stock as well. All I then need to do is press save, and that invoice has now been saved in the system for customer number 2. We can then pay those invoices off, so we can add a payment, and I can add a part payment or a full payment and the bank account that's gone into. We can do refunds, so we can write off as bad debt and create credit notes, etc. And we also have the option to take a card payment. So if the customer phoned me up, or if I was stood in front of them and I had Tally accounts open on my phone, I can click card payment, take their debit or credit card details, and take a direct payment for the customer. If you want to take direct debits, we also have the option to do that by enabling a bank payment, and monies will just be collected and paid in directly into your bank, and the invoices will be marked off as paid in Tally accounts as well. To email with this invoice, all we do is click email. It will bring through the customer's email address if that's in their customer record, and you can customize what these email templates look like. And if we click into the invoice itself, we'll see there's our invoice. All the information is on here. We'll see also that we have a pay online button, so if the customer receives this via email, if this is something you would wish to do, the customer can click on pay online. That will take them through to a payment portal where they can go and make a direct payment through Tally accounts. Really simple, really easy to manage invoices. You can customize what those invoices look like just by going to the settings menu on the left hand side of the screen. When you're in the settings menu, if you just scroll down, there is an option under configuration for PDF themes. If you click on PDF themes, you have two options here, which is a clean and a classic view, and if you click add new theme in the top right hand side of the screen, you can add as many different invoice templates you require. If you click into one, you can edit the details, so we can edit the text, the size, we can decide whether we want to show our company address or a different address. Do I want to include my phone number and email address on the invoice itself, and we can change all the date formats within there. If I go to images, we'll have the option to include our logo. So if I click that, my logo will now come through, and if you just click on that, you just need to choose the JPEG image, and you can decide how large you want that, and if you want it on the right, the center, or the left hand side of the screen. Alternatively, if you already have a letterhead template, or you've got your own invoice that you've designed in Word and you want to keep it the same, if we just upload that as a background image, you'll have the option just to upload an existing template into Tally accounts, and all of the invoice information will just print directly onto it. If you go to borders and margins, you can choose where you want your borders to appear, and you can move the margin of the page from the top, right, bottom and left. If we go to miscellaneous information, we'll see here that I can add in various information, so I can add in my company registered address at the bottom of the page, I can choose how I want my VAT broken out, and I can add additional text boxes onto invoices, quotes, purchase orders and packing slips. If I go to field names, we can change the quantity, so I could change that to, like, instead of quantity, it could be hours or days, or if you're a service-led business, you could just take that out completely like I've done. Or we can change the word description and call it something else. We can change the word rate to price if we wish to. So we can change all of the headings on the actual invoice itself. Once you're happy with that, just press save and preview, and we can now go see what that looks like with our first invoice, invoice number 1. So we'll see now it's brought through my logo. I've got a bordered coloured paper in there as well. And if we scroll down, my bank account information has come through, and then my company address at the bottom. So you can customize these invoices completely depending on how you want them for your business to look. And when you're happy with that template, just click save and exit, and that's now been updated within the system. If we go back to the invoices module in here, we can see we have at the top the option to set up repeat invoices. So if you do a lot of repeat work, we can set them up to automatically create. And also, if you click on the sales code button within here, you can go and add in new sales codes. You can see here I've got my labour and materials, I've got my stock items in here. Now you can just click into an existing one and you can just change the name. So I'm just going to say this is services, and again you can just pre-fill. So I could put a price in there, £2,000, put in your VAT right, type in a description and then hit update, and we'll now see I've got services listed as £2,000. So you can list out all the various work that you do within your business, so it will simplify creating and setting up invoices as and when you need to. If we go down the left hand side further, we can go through to suppliers. So I can create a new supplier, same as we create a new customer record. I'm just going to go create supplier 1 in here and just hit create. The same as a customer record, you can continue to put their address details in here and all their contact information. If you go to other information and settings, you can put your default payment method that you tend to use with your suppliers, the payment terms for each supplier, and also their VAT information, and we can set their default purchase code and purchase invoice template as well. Once transactions are created, all purchases and stats will be listed exactly the same way as it would do within the customer module. Once you've made your changes, just click update, and that supplier has now been created, and it's taken me through to create a new purchase invoice. To create a new purchase invoice, we follow the same process as a quote and a sales invoice, just by clicking create new purchase, choosing the supplier record or adding a new one, adding a line item to that, and we can see that my materials has come through on here. And I say I spent £500 on materials with them, and then hit save, and we'll have the option here to email it or print it and send it across to the supplier. If we go to the purchases module on the left, we'll now see that purchase invoice has been recorded in the system. All the transactions we've created here will now come through to our dashboard. So if we go to our dashboard on the left hand side, we can see that I've got £5,480 owed to me on outstanding invoices, and I currently owe £600 to my supplier where we just created the purchase invoice for, and we can see my VAT liability for the current period is tracking at £813. We can also see I've got one closed and one quote and one that's currently open, and all that's tracked through onto the screen. If we scroll down, we can see my P&L has also adjusted on here also, and that can be drilled into, and you can see all the information behind that. Once we go into the bank module on the left hand side, you'll see by default we have a current account. To edit the details to the current account, you can just click the edit button on here, and you can put in your bank reconciliation date, and you can also include your bank logo if needs be, and then hit save, and we can now see that's my Lloyd's current account. To add transactions to that, all you need to do is just click the view and add button and select the date of the transaction, the code that needs to be posted to. So if we just come down here, we can see the chart of accounts. So I'll come down here and just say hotels. I'll just put a hotel in London, and here how much it cost including VAT, so just put £100, and then we can choose the VAT rate 20%, and then you just hit the plus icon on the right hand side, and we'll see that transaction has now been added into the bank. We can make amendments as long as we haven't done a bank reconciliation or completed a VAT return. If we've made an error on that transaction, I can just click into that and I can amend any details after I've entered it. If you've entered a transaction by accident, if you just highlight it on the right hand side, you can delete that transaction. Please note, if you've done a bank reconciliation or a VAT return, you will not be able to amend or delete transactions because they're part of your full set of accounts. You'll also have the option, you'll see if we go back to the bank module, to import transactions. We can link tally accounts to your online banking, so to import, just click the import button, enter your online banking credentials, and once you've done that, you will see that in the system it will show the last 4 digits of your account and your bank balance as of yesterday. To import bank transactions, all you do is select the to and from date. So I'm going to import April's transactions by selecting the 1st of April to the end of April and then clicking the retrieve button. Once you've done that, we will see all of our transactions in here. So on the left hand side is our bank statement, and on the right hand side is where it's posting those transactions to. We've set up matching rules at the top. So if we go to the top of the screen, you can see I've got a button here for matching rules, and if I click into here, I've got one for interest. So every time you see money coming in on my bank statement, it says interest. I want you to post a bank transaction directly to interest received. The VAT rate is NA and the rule is called interest, and then save that, and it will automatically match that every time it sees interest on your bank statement. I've also got one for rent, so every time I see money going out to rent, post my transaction to rent. And I've got one there for KF, so every time you see money going out to cash flow, I want you to post a transaction directly to materials. I could choose to actually create a new purchase invoice. I don't have the supplier listed there. If I went into here and just selected the supplier, I could then go and choose the purchase code, the VAT, and hit save. So instead of posting directly against the nominal code, if we go back into the bank feed now, and we go back to the 1st of April to the end of April, retrieve those transactions, we'll now see that instead of posting against the nominal code, it's creating 3 new purchase invoices every time it's seen cash flow appear on a bank statement. So it's just a process of setting up those rules, and it will speed up your bookkeeping processes and simplify it and make it a lot more accurate. I've got money coming in here for £2,050 and I have a match button. If I hit the match button, it will bring up all of my unpaid invoices. I can then say it was a part payment against that invoice there, and then hit assign, and that's now assigned that payment coming in against that invoice. Once I've matched everything, you can see on the left hand side where it's posting to in tally accounts on the right. I just click import now, and it will see I've imported 6 transactions and 1 transaction with no actions taken. And if we go and have a look at our bank account now for April 2014, we'll now see all of those transactions have been imported. And if we go to our suppliers now, we can see that cash flow is set up as a supplier. And if we go to purchases, we'll see that it's created 3 new purchase invoices and marked them all off as paid. Really, really simple and easy to do. And our bank balance is now £311.79. If I go to import again, and we go and choose the same date range, so I'm going to import April to the end of April, retrieve the transactions, we can now see I've only got 1 transaction left to match. We can hit show imported, and it will show us all the work that we've done already, so we can't import transactions twice, but I do have 1 transaction left to import. So if I just hit match, I'm going to create a new bank transaction. I don't know what this is yet, so I'm just going to post it to other, hit create, and then import, and we can see 1 transaction's imported, 6 transactions with no actions taken. It's now taken us into our bank, all our transactions are there, and our statement balance is correct. All we need to do then is reconcile the bank statement at the top of the screen. So if I hit reconcile, all I need to do is put my reconciliation, my end balance in there, hit start, and we can see it's already ticked everything off in the bank rec. These little cogs show that it's been matched from the bank feed, so actually I have no work to do there. However, I could make amendments. I can see that this transaction has been posted to other, so I need to allocate that to the correct place. So if I untick it, it comes up with a little pencil icon. If I just click on that there, it will take me through to the transaction. I can just go and change the code, update it, and then when you close that window down, there's a little refresh button at the top of the reconciliation, and we can see that's now been amended. And then if I just hit that there, that's all reconciled. I can hit save, and my bank reconciliation has now been done, and there's a lock on the bank account. To add a new bank account, you just hit add new account, give the account a name, so it's going to be my business account. It will create a new account code for you. Again, you can choose the icon for that and your reconciliation date. So this is, if I put the 1st of May, that means everything after that date will be included in my bank reconciliation. If I hit save, we'll now see I've got 2 bank accounts listed, and you'll see now I could go and activate a new bank feed if I wish to. If I click activate bank feed, instead of choosing the bank feed option, if you don't want to link tally accounts to your online banking, you do have the option to do a manual upload. If you select this as an option, instead of linking it to your online bank, you can download a CSV copy of your bank statement, and then when you select the file to upload, just locate your bank statement and then click the upload button. All the transactions on your bank statement will now be imported directly into tally accounts, and then you can choose to match them where they need to go. Just like your bank feed, however, you do have the option for matching rules. So if I go into matching rules now and create a new one, we've still got money going out that goes to rent. So I'm going to create a new bank transaction which goes to rent, choose your VAT amount, give the rule a name, and you'll just repeat that process for your statement. And when we go back through to the bank feed section, you'll see that my rent has automatically matched. So even if you would prefer to import your transactions via CSV rather than online banking, you can still simplify your bookkeeping processes and make it a lot more accurate. If we go through to our dashboard again, we'll now see that it's brought through our bank balances, and again our VAT liability information has changed. If you go to the reporting module on the left hand side, There's a number of reports like your balance sheet, your company P&L and your trial balance, and if you scroll down to your VAT management and reports, you'll now have the option to create your first VAT report. This has put all the information through. We can see that our 514 net to be paid has come through, and I can just hit the submit button, print the report or download calculations, and you can send it directly to HMRC. That's just an overview of how Tally Accounts can help you run the bookkeeping within your business. For more information, please contact us.